All right, Dalton, continuing with our top defensive tackles in college football. At number 5 of our list is Peter Woods out of Clemson, a true sophomore for Clemson this past season. So obviously, Dalton, he did more than enough as a true freshman in his first year of college football to earn a spot in the top 5 of a loaded list, honestly.
He absolutely did, and to me, there's two things that stand out. One is his play strength. He's strong. He's as strong as seniors, man. It's crazy. I don't know what he was doing in his workouts in high school, but he is freaky strong. Like his play strength, honestly, is like NFL level right now. I don't even understand how a true freshman can be as strong as he is. And then he's so darn fundamentally sound, Max. Like an 88.6 run defense grade, and 29.4% of his run defense snaps were positively graded. That was the 4th highest in the country and the highest returning defensive tackle in the Power 4 out of anybody. Like, he is just so fundamentally sound. I believe in run defense, it was only 10 negatively graded plays that we had all season. Like, just so consistent in run D. And then this is a guy who had a 15.9% pass rush win rate that was 5th best in the country. Like, he does right now, you can tell with his power and his fundamentals, he can do a little bit of everything. He's an elite run defender. And if you're someone who believes that, because he only had, I think, 20 pressures last year. If you believe that pass rush win rate leads to pressures, which leads to sacks, then you think Peter Woods' potential is as high as anybody in our top 10 or in the country, because he just is so – I don't know the last time that I saw a true freshman D lineman that was this fundamentally sound. Like, he just doesn't make big mistakes at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, he was phenomenal this past year. You can see in the highlight reel that Eli put together really well out there. He is just a monster, man. And I remember I was doing some preseason radio hits and preseason podcast hits last summer, and I think I did one for Clemson, and they were talking to me about this kid, Peter Woods, and they're like, dude, keep an eye on him, because all we're hearing in the offseason is this guy is unbelievable. I was like, all right, I'll keep an eye. And they were right, man. He was phenomenal. And, he was a former 5-star recruit, Dawn, so we did know that he was going to be a stud, obviously. But he was so good, man. And the fact that he's on this list at number 5, when he was kind of a rotational player for Clemson last year, because they had Rick Aurora, they had Tyler Davis, who both were drafted into the NFL this past April. That just shows how good he was in the role he had for Clemson last year. You mentioned it, 3rd in the country in pass rush win rate, 7th in run defense grade, had the 3rd best overall grade, 87.6 grade, 3rd best we've ever seen by a true freshman D tackle. And number 1 and 2 were Dexter Lawrence, who also went to Clemson and is one of the best D tackles in the country right now, in the NFL, and Ed Oliver, who also in 2016, so both of them in 2016. Ed Oliver, who plays for the Bills, also makes over $15 million a year. So both those guys make over $15 million a year, and they're the only two that had a better overall grade as true freshmen than Peter Woods this past season. So I think Woods is going to be a household name. He is one of the biggest breakout stars in college football, because I know a lot of people don't really know about him right now because of him being kind of a rotational guy for them last year, but he was so freaking dominant for Clemson and such a young player too. He is quickly going to be one of the top D tackles in the country, and I can bet you right now, Dawn, I bet he'll be our number 1 player on this list next year as well.
Oh, yeah, I would bet on that easily. And I think the only thing, like, based on his true freshman tape alone, I would honestly, if he was allowed to be drafted last year, I would draft him somewhere in the top, 150, probably in the 4th round. He would have been a 4th round pick on true freshman tape alone. I think the big thing for him in that pass rush win rate is top 5. A lot of those pass rush wins are kind of late, right? He's winning with strength and bull rush. He's winning with second moves. The difference between him being a 3rd, 4th round pick and a potential top 10, top 15 pick, like say a Mason Graham is going to be adding a pass rush arsenal, right? The get off and the hands to win with the first move and win a little bit quicker, and then turn the win rate into pressures, turn the pressures into sacks, right? He didn't have a single sack last year, so people are going to go, well, why is he on this list? It's in there. The level of good this guy is at everything else, it's elite. It's as good as any player in the country. He just needs a little more of a pass rush arsenal and a little more hand usage getting off the ball. Then, if he adds that, he's the best defensive tackle in the country. It really is, going into next year, because that's the only thing missing is I just need him a little bit quicker. That's it, just quicker off the ball. Run defense, I've got nothing. He might be the best run defender on this whole list. He really might, in our whole top 10, because it's just so sound. He's better in run defense right now than a lot of the seniors that I watched in draft prep this past year. That's how good he is in run defense. If he adds a pass rush arsenal, he'll be a top 10 pick one day.
Absolutely, man. And, I'm not just saying because he wears the same number as a Clemson guy from a couple years ago, but you see some like Brian Brzee sometimes in his game when you watch Peter Woods out there, just how strong they are. And I think that is the big weakness, right? Or not big weakness, but I think that is the only weakness I could really see right now. I completely agree with you that the arsenal pass rushing moves just isn't there yet. But it's like, okay, it's not there yet. He was a true freshman last year. He just, he went to prom 2 months earlier before he got to Clemson. So it's like, yeah, it's obviously not going to be there like it is for Mason Graham or Deion Walker or other guys who's been in college for multiple years. But I still think, man, there's such a high ceiling there with Peter Woods. And if he develops those pass rushing moves, he is absolutely going to be our number 1 D tackle in the country heading into 2025 because of how special he is. And he could be a projected top 10 to 15 pick in the NFL draft if he keeps developing and keeps improving off of what already was a stellar true freshman season. So that's what we got for Peter Woods, already one of the top 5 D tackles in the country, even though he's only entering his second season of college football.